So far in this series, we built the API that can talk to AI models. But there are one thing they still can't do. They can't use our own C# code. And that's exactly what we are going to solve in this episode. Today, we are adding semantic kernel to our web API. By end of this video, you will ask a questions in scalar OpenAI documentations, and the AI will decide on its own whether it should call one of your C# methods. No manual routing, no if statement, just smart AI making the decision for you. Let's build it. Think of semantic kernel as a smart coordinator. It's side between the users and your application. When request comes in, it understands the user question. Then it decides, should I answer using the AI model or should I call one of the C# functions available in the application? The best part is we don't write the decision making logic. The AI makes that decisions automatically. And all of this happens inside a normal ASP.NET Core web API. Let's start by installing semantic kernel. We need only one NuGet package, which is Microsoft.semantic kernel. This package gives us everything we need to build AI power application, including plugin supports and AI connectors. Let's install it. Now let's register semantic kernel in our applications. Open program.cs. We will keep everything we built in episode 2 and episode 3 exactly the same. We are simply adding one more service to our dependency injection container. Since we are already using Azure OpenAI, we can reuse the same configuration. No extra setup, no changes to our existing code, just one registrations. Next, let's create a new folder called plugins. This folder will contain all the C# methods that the AI can reuse. You can think of it as a toolbox. Whenever the AI needs to perform specific tasks, it can pick the right tool from these folders. Right click on plugin folders and click on add new items, or you can add new class. Here, give it a name as devplugins.cs and then click on add. This is how we'll create a class and we will add set of plugins or tools here. Instead of the dev plugins, let me make it as dev tool plugins so we can quickly understand and read it. Here I am changing the file name as devtoolplugins.cs and we will quickly add one of the patterns here. Now let's create our first AI function. I will create a method called suggest pattern. By itself, it's just a normal C# method, but when we add a kernel function attributes, we are telling semantic kernel this is a function the AI is allowed to use. That's all it takes. Your existing C# code becomes available to the AI. You will also notice I am adding the description attributes. These descriptions are very important. They help the AI understand what this function does and when it should use it. So don't think of them as a command, think of them as an instruction for the AI. Let's add one more function. This one estimates the complexity of the code based on the number of lines. Notice something interesting. We aren't writing any AI logic here. These are just C# or I would say normal C# method, and semantic kernel simply give the AI the ability to call them whenever they need it. That means you can reuse the existing business logic instead of building everything from scratch. This is how we have created the DevTool plugin, and inside this DevTool plugins we have two functions. One is suggested patterns and the another one is analyze the complexity. Now in the later pass we will create one controller called control controllers and call all these two functions with the help of DevTool plugins, and we'll see how AI enable all these routings and tool callings with the help of kernels. Now let's create a new controller called kernel controllers. Right click on controller folders and click on add controllers. Here we will select the API and choose API controller empty. Give it a name as kernel controllers and click on add. This is how we add the kernel controllers. Now let's start with some constructors and functions. This controller is just like our previous API endpoints. We are using dependency injections, and this time we inject the kernel itself. That's all we need. The controller stays small, clean, and focus on handling requests. If you have been following this series, you will notice a consistent pattern. Every service is injected through dependency injection. That keeps our code easy to test, maintain, and extend. Now comes the most important part, writing ask method with function choice behavior.auto. Let's see it, and I'll explain each part step by steps. Now let's understand what happens when requests reach our API. First, we validate the request. If the user doesn't send a message, we immediately return a bad request response. Simple input validation, just like any other web API. Next, we create an openai prompt execution setting object. This object controls how semantic kernel should execute the prompts. And here is the magic. Function choice behavior.auto, this tells semantic kernel, here are all the plugins functions available. Now you decide whether you call one of them or answer the questions yourself. We don't write any routing logics, we don't write if else conditions, we simply gives the AI the available tools and let's choose the best one. Now we pass the user message to the kernel using invoke prompt async. At this point, semantic kernel analyzes the request. If it finds a matching plugin functions, it's called that functions automatically. Otherwise, it sends the request directly to the AI models. Function choice behavior.auto, this single line gives the AI the ability to choose. When a user sends a question, semantic kernel look at all the available plugins functions and then AI decide, should I call one of these functions or can I answer the question directly? We don't write any if else statement here. We don't create any routing rules. This AI makes the decisions automatically. While building the projects, you might see an error like this. But don't worry, this isn't a semantic kernel problem. It's simply a package version conflicts. Let's understand what's happening. Our project is using azure.ai.openai version 2.1.0, but the latest version of semantic kernel expect azure.ai.openai version 2.9.0 beta or later. Since the version don't match, Visual Studio report a package downgrade error. And the same thing happen or might be happen with OpenAI package also, because our project reference version is 2.1.0, but semantic kernel depends on newer version. So the build failed because of version mismatch. And in simple layman term, think of it like, or imagine one library say I only work with .NET 10, but your project still using .NET 8. Both libraries are correct, but they aren't compatible with each other. And that's exactly what's happening here. So let's fix it. We just need to update the package version so that they match the version required by semantic kernels. And after updating the package version, restore the nugget package, rebuild the solutions, and the package downgrade error disappear. Whenever you see a package downgrade error, don't start changing your code. Read the error carefully. It usually tells you exactly which package required a newer version. In most cases, updating the package version resolves the issue. Now, that's the project build successfully. Let's run the application and see semantic kernel automatically calling our C# method. Alright, let's see if this really works. I will ask the questions about selecting a design pattern. Notice something important. I am not telling the AI which C# method to call. I am simply sending a question. Okay, now let's see it in the actions. I'll simply click on API/kernel/ask and click on test request. And then in the message section, I will simply ask, I need to notify multiple components when order is placed. Which design pattern should I use? So this is how I will ask the question in the request body, and we will see what AI will respond us. And once we put this message in the request body, click on send. And there it is. The AI understand my questions, execute it, and return the answer. But looks like semantic kernel not getting called by any of the dev tool functions. So let's quickly see it why it is not getting called. Now let me show you a common mistake that many developers makes when they first start using semantic kernel. Everything looks correct, our plugin is registered, our functions have the kernel function attributes, and functional choice behavior.auto is also configured. But when we test the API, the AI never calls our plugins. And at the first, the line looks like it's enough, but there is one small detail that's easy to miss. Here, we are only sending the user message to the kernels, and we are not sending the execution setting. That means semantic kernel never receives the instructions to automatically choose a plugin. So what happens? The prompt goes straight to the language models and the AI generates the normal text response, but it never considers calling our C# method. So this is the fix is very simple. Along with user message, we also pass the execution setting as a kernel arguments. Now, when the request reaches semantic kernels, it receives two things. First, the user prompt, and second, the execution settings. With both pieces of information available, semantic kernel can inspect the register plugin functions, compare them with the user request, and decide whether it should call one of those functions or answer directly. So you can see here our function is getting called based on these two input parameters. And think of it this way, the prompt tells the AI what the user wants, the execution setting tells semantic kernel how it should proceed with this request. Without this setting, it's just a normal AI chat. But with this setting, it's become an AI agent that can use your own C# code. Now let me ask a different type of question, and this time I am asking a general C# question like what is async and await in C#. And once again I am using the same endpoints and exactly the same code, and let's see what semantic kernel decides. Notice what happened. This time, Semantic Kernel didn't call any of the plugins. Instead, it answered the question directly using large language model. And actually, this is the correct behavior. We don't have a plugin that explains the C# concept. So, there wasn't no reason to call one. Semantic Kernel looked at the available tools, realized none of them were relevant and answered the question directly. This is exactly how tool calling is supposed to work. The AI doesn't call a function for every request, it's only call a function when it's believed that function will help answer the user question. This is what makes Semantic Kernel so powerful. You are not writing a complex routing logic, you are simply giving an AI a set of tools and let it choose the right one based on the user request. In the next episode, we will explore the prompt engineering and learn how to write prompts that produce a more accurate, reliable and consistent AI response. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and share it with other .NET developers. Thanks for the watching and I'll see you in the next episode.